welcome to episode 2. We are in the 3rd season of the Itsy Bitsy Zoomcast. This season is called simply Storytime. Your Itsy Bitsy stories make a difference. Your experiences matter.
Once again this season, HCC Practicum students are serving as guest hosts of the Itsy Bitsy Zoomcast. So with me today, I have one of my students, Stephanie Turgeon. Stephanie is currently a student teacher at Roots in Westfield, and she's doing a fabulous job. So Stephanie's here today as guest host because we are at the point in our field's story that we need to hear more testimony. Hearing compelling stories that highlight the significance of early education and care is really important to us, and it's one of the biggest reasons that we started Itsy Bitsy. So Stephanie's gonna set the stage a little bit for our conversation today. Go ahead, Stephanie.
So telling stories is one of the most powerful means that people have to influence, teach, and inspire other people. Storytelling creates connections among people and between people and ideas. Stories convey the culture, the history, the values, and to unite all these people. The stories we hold in common are an important part of the ties that bind us together. It is a positive form of communication that fosters compassion and understanding.
I think that's a great way to go into today. This is a really special episode for Liz and I because Career Pathways is a really huge part of what we do at Holyoke Community College as a part of our early childhood grants initiatives. And we have 2 really incredible team members that are here today to share their stories about their work and their connection to the field of early education and care in Holyoke Community College. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So I'm going to have Abby Mahoney begin.
Thanks so much for having us. I'm Abby Mahoney, and I'm the Senior Special Programs Coordinator for the Career Pathways Grant at Holyoke Community College. The mission of the Career Pathways Grant is to support early childhood educators to receive their CDA, their Child Development Associate credential, while earning college credit. And all of that credit stacks into an associate's degree in early education and care. We also support early childhood educators to further their credentialing in the EEC system. So we, in the past couple of years, have supported hundreds of students, hundreds of educators to come back to school and to further their education for free. So it's an amazing program. I advise and recruit all the students in the English CDA, and Derek can introduce himself and talk a little bit about what he does with our Spanish CDA students.
Thank you, Abby. So my name is Derek Estrella, and thank you guys for having me. It's super exciting. So I am the Senior Community Outreach Counselor at Holyoke Community College, also working with Abby under the Career Pathways Grant. Specifically, I recruit and advise students for the Spanish CDA. So this means, the full courses in Spanish, the books are in Spanish, the learning communities are in Spanish. So this is the first year that we're offering that, and it's kind of parallel to the English one as far as you'll gain credits, you'll gain access to EEC credentialing. And it's an amazing way that we're kind of branching out and reaching out to different communities.
I'm so glad that both of you are with us. Abby and Derek, we know that you have to do a lot of quantitative data reporting. And today we're interested in knowing more about the qualitative side of your work, the human interactions that make your work so important and meaningful. In your work with Career Pathways Grants, you are behind the scenes, making a big difference in people's lives. What would you want people to know about your work? We'll have you start, Abby.
Sure. So yes, we do a lot of data collection. Something that I was just thinking about as we just completed our data report for the summer, when we were looking at that, I noticed that we had 5 former CDA students, so graduates of our CDA certificate program, who enrolled in our child care administration course. So those students we got to work with from the beginning. So we recruited them from the fields. They came in, were able to get their teacher certification, continued on, got their CDA credential, their lead teacher, and then came back this summer and were able to become directors. So being able to work with these students all the way through this process is amazing. not only, for their own careers, but most of our students are adult learners who oftentimes don't think that college is for them, maybe never went to college or went to college a long time ago and didn't finish and are coming back to HCC. And to see them build their confidence and know that they can do it while being able to do this, without the burden of student loans and financial aid and all of that. So working with these students who we can see this transition is amazing. And so that's kind of a bigger story, but sometimes just working with one-on-one with students who put little pieces together. Like I met with a student last week who was explaining her time management techniques and just taking an hour out of her day every week to complete her assignments. And something just that little gave her so much confidence that she was able to complete her work successfully and know that if she continues this way, she's going to get through this program. So it's even those little things that that make students just love going to school, and we love working with them because they're so proud of themselves, and we're proud of them too. So I'll let Derek speak to his experience as well.
Thank you. That was awesome, Abby. So I think when I think of kind of my program and specifically the Spanish CDA and the students that I'm working with, community comes to mind because this is a community that can now access, say, course credits and college classes and a modality that is fit for them. And I want to have input, like a little personal anecdote. For me, so learning Spanish has always been this very difficult thing for me. So now I'm at a point where I'm fully bilingual and all that. But, I lost that language because, say, for instance, when I was at a babysitter or I was in early kind of childcare, my childcare person only spoke English. So there was a bit of disconnect between my mother's language and then kind of like what I was learning at the same time. So what I think is super important for this program and this community that we are serving is that, they're able to raise a generation fully bilingual so that they're not losing a language and not losing their culture. Which is super important because it can be a disconnect of being able to speak with, say, for me, my grandmother. So it's awesome getting to kind of work with these students, and they're so appreciative, and like they constantly make me almost tear up, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna wipe my tears, don't make me cry, because it's one of the things that getting to this country and not having the most access to certain things just based on language is very, very difficult. And having this, it's college credits, it's university credits. And as Abby said, you don't have to get into loans to get them. You don't have to go through the rigor of, say, like financial aid, because we all know that is just its circuits on its own. So being able to provide kind of a streamless experience for these students, as well as the communities that we offer, the professional learning communities, just to augment and enhance their experience, is something that I hold dear to my heart, just because this could be my aunt, and this could be my grandma, this could be just like, my family member going through this program. And it's nice to see kind of like my language reflected, especially because I think HEC is one of the first kind of colleges to really do this in a full certificate bearing program. So it's transformational, to say the least, but I could expand on that a whole lot more.
I had a whole flurry of thoughts when I listened to both of you reflect on your experience working within this field. And the biggest thing that stood out to me was how much you both naturally smiled when you talked about your work. And you can tell that the qualitative piece of what you do is deeply meaningful. And I'm glad that we can use this platform to share that, because the two of you have a very unique skill set.
Yes.
Being able to be data collectors, personalized mentors, collaborate with the academic department, collaborate with the workforce as a whole, and just be thrilled to balance all of that so that students get this seamless experience because of all of the steps that you take to make sure they have that. That is extremely unique. And I think it's one of the things that makes HCC really special, is how we all kind of have these skill sets that make sure the student has this wraparound of positivity. It's awesome. And I keep thinking about, I can't wait for Derek to get to do this when the students finish and we let them, well, maybe we'll be able to do it in person, but last year we did these drive-through graduation celebrations, And I got to come and we handed students books and flowers and we cheered for them. And it was just the best feeling. And then it gets even better when the next semester they take a 200 level curriculum course and they ask me about doing their practicum where they work. And I think, all right, it's happening. It's happening. They're moving through. And I love hearing you talk about your work. I love hearing you talk about our students. Liz
You know
has little, go ahead.
Well, you know, what I was thinking too is that one, I couldn't help but notice their gorgeous smiles and how you beam when you talk about your work. And it is to know that people are met by the two of you, where you're holding their dignity, you're holding the effort that it takes to decide to continue your education in this way. It warms the heart. It actually, Derek, when you were talking, was really moving for me to hear. It was like, oh, I think I could tear up now too. The best part for me, being a part of the Western Professional Development Center as a coach, and having this close connection to career pathways embedded at the community college, is that when I'm out in the field, I'm meeting the people that you've influenced, all three of you, you know, and Stephanie, who knows, maybe someday I'll be at your center and I'll be working with you as a coach. So there's this lovely way in which we are all working with this group of hardworking folks. And when I'm sitting in a classroom at nap time talking to someone and they tell me about Abby and their experience going through the CDA Plus program, I'm just beaming. It's so exciting. So I love the way in which we can all collaborate and partner together. It's heartwarming. So I'm so happy that we were able to have you on today. And I have a feeling that we will have you on again. And so I'm happy about that. So thank you so much for being here, and congratulations, because now you're a part of the Itsy Bitsy community. And so I'm thrilled about that. So thank you. And thank you, Stephanie, for being a part of this episode.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it really, really much.
We always end with a quote. So as we reflected on today's episode, as you know, Liz was creating the outline and we were brainstorming, there's a Mr. Rogers quote, who you all know that Liz and I we just love Fred. So there's a quote that I want to read and then just give you a little wrap up on why we chose it. So it says, if you could only sense how important you are to the lives of the people you meet, how important you can be to the people you may never dream of, there is something of yourself that you leave at every meeting with another person. So one of the things that Liz and I love about the Itsy Bitsy project is that it's created a platform for people to share their story, and the work that Abby and Derek do, it touches the early ed community as well as the HCC community. And Abby and Derek, I want you to know that the reach that you both have ripples into the lives of children and families. And we are so, so grateful for the work you're doing. And I'm glad we could give it a tangible platform today. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm over here holding my tears. Got me emotional.
I knew I was going to be emotional for today's episode because we've come so far. HCC's education department has come so far, and we are not just an academic department. We have career pathways and Strong Start, and we're working together to do great things. And I'm incredibly blessed to be a faculty member and have a team like this. So thank you. All right, bye everybody. That's the end of episode 2. We'll see you back for episode 3.
Bye everyone, take care.
Bye everyone.